Hey guys, it's Adrienne. I wanted to talk to you today about saving money when you're trying to learn to eat healthy. And if you're like a lot of people, you start looking online or through magazines and you get together your grocery list after picking out some recipes. And then you end up at the end of the week with a bunch of ingredients that are left over because you only needed a cup of this or a tablespoon of that. And you have a bunch of stuff that you just never end up using and throwing it away. So that does definitely add up. So I wanted to talk to you about a better way to approach it and using what you already have on hand in the house, which is what I do all the time, and how I come up with some pretty creative recipes. So today I wanted to give you just a real world example of probably a dinner that I'm going to end up with in some form later this week. And that is just a recipe that I found online. And I'm going to go ahead and screenshot the recipe for you. But this is actually a really good looking pasta dish. It's a penne pasta with cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and it's got like a crumb topping on top, so it looks really good. But when I got all excited when I found it, and when I looked at the list of ingredients, I'm like, oh well, I don't have like 90% of the ingredients on there, so naturally you'd think that I would write it off, or worse, I would go ahead and put all those ingredients down on my grocery list and head to the grocery store with that and a bunch of other things that I had planned for the week. But nope, that's not what we're going to do. So let's walk through the process that I go through, and then if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll make sure to answer it for you. Just to quickly go through the ingredient list, and again I'm going to screenshot it so you can follow along. It's got cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, garlic, pine nuts, olive oil, breadcrumbs, crushed red pepper, and penne pasta. So actually the only thing that I have on that list in the house is probably, I have the cauliflower, I do have garlic, and I have olive oil and crushed red pepper. So I don't have a lot of the main ingredients in there. I definitely don't have Brussels sprouts. I could add them to the list, but I'm not going to do that. What I do is I sit and I think about each ingredient that I have. Like I said, I've got the cauliflower, so we've taken care of that. Brussels sprouts, some things that you can use instead of the Brussels sprouts. I do have broccoli, I have green beans, I have kale, shredded cabbage. That was another thing that you can use. Anything that's similar to a Brussels sprout that you already have on hand, go for it. Or if it's something that you're going to eat later in the week in a different recipe, double up, and that way you can make sure to use up what you've got in a different recipe. Pine nuts, I don't have pine nuts, but I do have walnuts or pecans, so I can go with that instead as an option. What actually sounds good to me, instead of buying pine nuts or using the nuts that I have, I'm probably going to go with a sun-dried tomato because I have tons of those in the house that I know about, and I want to get rid of some of those, so I'm going to add in sun-dried tomatoes. And then I'm probably going to swap out the olive oil for walnut oil to kind of give it that nutty flavor. So that way you can kind of keep the same flavor theme going. By taking out one nut, you can go ahead and sub in walnut oil. Breadcrumbs. I know 99% of you out there have some sort of loaf of bread in the house. Go ahead and buzz a slice or two in the Magic Bullet food processor, blender, whatever you've got, even grate it if you need to, and suddenly you have breadcrumbs. You can crunch up croutons if you've got those. And pasta. I know the whole world out there has pasta in their house of some sort. It might not be penne, but you've got some sort of pasta noodle, and that's how you can go ahead and modify it. In a pinch, you could also use maybe rice, quinoa. You can use any kind of grain. Barley would be good, farro. Like I said, rice would also be fine. So you can end up with a totally different dish that is using up what you already have in the house. So just kind of think about the ingredients and something else in that similar flavor family, or in the same, I don't know, genre. I don't know what food just come in, if foods have genres or not, but if it's veggie, then think of another veggie that's similar to it. If it's a flavor, think of something that's similar. So citruses, are a lot of those are interchangeable. Nuts are interchangeable in a lot of cases. Yes, your flavor might not end up exactly the same as, but you can come up with if you have it in the house, it's going to be something probably that you already know that you like, and you're going to probably like the flavor combinations of those foods when you throw them together. So that's in a nutshell how I look at recipes and how I end up using what I have in the house, and not really grocery shopping for specific items just to make a dish once. and multi-purpose, multitask whenever you can, and you'll end up with a lot less leftover and a lot of extra time. So if I can answer any specific questions, again, I'm going to screenshot this recipe so you can kind of look at it as you watch the video, and definitely ask questions, or if you need hints or tips, feel free to hit me up either by leaving a comment below or sending me an email. Thanks for watching.